Time to tackle the hard-hitting Little League questions in Whitestown, Indiana. Who moves on in the Midwest region, the first to get to 2-0 and find themselves 2 wins away from dancing their way to Williamsport, Pennsylvania? State champions of Iowa, Davenport Northwest Little League. State champions of South Dakota out of Sioux Falls. You see the division at a glance. 8 teams tomorrow. We're going to start whittling that down. One of these teams will end up on the bottom end of the bracket in the modified double elimination tournament. In this region, 8 teams trying to figure it out. If you're here, you're a state champion of one of these states. We have here the state champions of Iowa against the state champions of South Dakota. With that, we welcome you into Whitestown, Indiana. He's Dayton Hughes. I'm Cooper Boardman. We're glad you're with us. Both these teams are 1-0. They played great games yesterday, and we saw yesterday these are teams that can get the ball out of the ballpark.
Yes, they can. Very complete team. Stellar pitching performances by each team, and outstanding offensive production that got them to this point. So this should be a fun game.
Anthony Johnson Jr. We're going to see him on the mound today. Yesterday, we saw one of the swings of the tournament so far.
Yes, he got a hold of this one, put a charge into it over the left center field fence. Great pitching from Cooper Tisson as well, and that's what catapulted them to this stage right here today.
Davenport batting order. We saw 13 runs in 3 offensive innings from them yesterday. Tisson, Johnson, Cannon, Kane combined for 14 homers leading into the tournament.
And now we get to see Tisson behind the plate as part of the battery between he and Anthony Johnson Jr.
Gets the double-jointed pitcher, Cruz Chrome, 4'10", 12-year-old, who's got the task of finding some way, somehow, for the South Dakota State champions of shutting these Iowa hitters down. Underway, game 2 of the day on a Saturday afternoon from Whitestown, Indiana in the winner's bracket. Chrome against Tisson.
Cruz Chrome, short in stature, but a lively arm. The coach's son, good velocity with that fastball, mature beyond his age. As you mentioned, has a tall task ahead of him this afternoon against a very dangerous offense for Iowa.
Danny, you play baseball at the collegiate and the minor league level, drafted to the major leagues. What was it like for you growing up when you were seeing a lefty? Because I imagine that was something you didn't see a whole lot.
Yeah, didn't see a lefty very often when I was younger. Kind of licked my chops back then because you had an opportunity. As you see a drive to left field by Tisson. Well played defensively by Keegan Roth out in left field. Giving respect to Tisson and that power, playing about 5 steps in on the warning track to secure that first out.
It's interesting because the big-time hitters in the Davenport Northwest Little League lineup, the top 2, Tisson and Johnson, are both lefties, so you get left on left to start the day. That was a pretty good swing from Tisson, like you said. And now Johnson, who we showed you a second ago, not only did he homer, he hit a ball that touched the moon and fell beyond the left center field fence. He went opposite way for the first homer of the regional.
Yeah, very impressive with his power, but his next at bat, he had a drive right up the middle. Very relaxed swing with that power. 5'7". Big and strong. Got to be careful in how you approach him if you're Cruz.
This is where it reminds you Cruz Chrome standing at 4'11". Johnson in the box. 12-year-olds come in all shapes and sizes. There are a lot of ways to be good at baseball at this time. 3-0 to the powerful Anthony Johnson Jr., who will pitch today for Davenport Northwest Little League as he takes strike 1.
You can tell Cruz Chrome has a plan, trying to work away from him on the outside part of the plate. Don't want to be in the wheelhouse of Anthony Johnson Jr. That was there.
Good curve, though, 3-2. Takes a little something to drop in a 3-1 curve.
Good confidence by Cruz on the mound. Athletic family.
Missed outside. Tried to slide around 3-2. And there's the first base runner for Davenport Northwest Little League, the state champions of Iowa, dressed in the teal. Davenport, Iowa, along the eastern border of the state, right alongside the Mississippi River, the Corn Belt. John Deere, one of the main employers in that part of the country. It is a river town. It is a baseball town. As that's put in play, left side, backhand stop at short. Kokenge to first, one hop, and end time. Dug out by Seafelt over there.
Noah Kokenge at shortstop. These first 2 days has been stellar. Outstanding with his glove. Good strong throw, and a great pick by Kyler Seafelt at first base to get the second out. Maybe had a chance to get the lead runner at second, Anthony Johnson Jr., but opted for the strong throw across the diamond. And they're going to have a courtesy runner for Anthony Johnson Jr., starting pitcher in this game.
Cannon Kane will take over at second. He was the one retired at first. And now, on his 12th birthday, celebrating at the regional, Caleb Irwin. Coach's kid. They had to win yesterday for him to get to play on his birthday. 11 turned to 12 a few hours ago.
1 for 2 yesterday. Just 2 plate appearances.
He steps up with a man on second base, first inning in the winner's bracket, by taking outside, 3-0. Fifteenth pitch of the inning for Cruz Chrome. And that's a birthday gift, a walk.
There you go.
For Caleb Irwin.
3 pads. Seems Cruz is trying to be a little too crafty, a little too fine on the outside part of the plate. A lot of lefty bats in the lineup for the Iowa team.
Two on, Logan Chantos, third baseman. He takes another off-speed pitch for a strike. 4-11 versus 4-11 and 1/4.
Good matchup here. Logan, good strong arm, just like Cruz. I don't think we got to see him go on the backflip yesterday after the win, but can run as well. He's the guy in this lineup that keeps the Iowa team very loose.
Dude's always hacking. 0-2. That time left one away. Some of the Sioux Falls fans who've made the trip. Long drive from the eastern part of the state. Started to stand and celebrate. Sit back down, a 1-2. I've seen so many times in the last 2 days. The first inning tells a story. It can be the story of the game. In play, right side, tough play, second baseman on. Kane at first, it's off the glove. They'll send the runner as it skips away, and Davenport's on the board. Cannon Kane around from second to make it 1-0.
They're going to rule that a hit, the first hit of the day for this Davenport team. A very, very tough play for Knox Hotchkiss at second base, barehands it, good flip. Tries to stretch at first base, but Seafelt could not secure the third out. Good aggressive base running on display to score the first run.
And then they put the first and third play on. Chantos goes right down to second as Sioux Falls let him through. So men on second and third with 2 outs, an 0-1 count on the left fielder, Crew Neff. 1-1. Davenport Northwest Little League. Third time as the state champions. First trip here since 05. Well, they went to the Little League World Series. Did it in back-to-back years. Those 2 seasons. Count 1-2, pitch to Neff. This is already a 24-pitch first inning for the South Dakota starter. Cruz Chrome trying to end it right here.
It's the one thing you can't afford is mistakes and miscues against a dangerous lineup like Davenport.
Makes this pitch a big one. 3-2. And he got the corner. Just snuck it over the outer black to finish off the inning and keep from further trouble. One for Iowa. Sioux Falls to bat. Yesterday, South Dakota was down 4-0 after one, and then the bats happened.
The bats got alive. Big flies out and just continued to pepper the ball around the diamond. Not a weak spot in the lineup for Sioux Falls. As we've known, this team is accustomed to being here. There's a DNA in Sioux Falls on knowing how to play their best baseball on this stage.
They are the two-time defending champions in this regional. That means they've been to the Little League World Series. This town, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, each of the last 2 years. It's their 6th consecutive year in the regional. And guys like Chrome and Hodgkiss and Mathisen have all watched older players in their town win games like this. The problem is this guy, Anthony Johnson Jr., hard-throwing left-hander for Davenport.
Yeah, very talented young man here, imposing on the mound. Good power arm, can get that fastball up into the low 70s. A breaking ball and changeup as part of his arsenal.
And you see the velo, you see the hands. He dropped it and just got him at first base. We are definitely going to see at least a challenge consideration from South Dakota. And they'll be looking at this replay.
The ball hit right back to the pitcher. Anthony Johnson Jr. lost control of it. Bang, bang play at first base. We'll see from this angle if there's enough to overturn it. It looks like he is safe. And for all the viewers, the young baseball players, this is exactly how you run through first base. Through the safety bag, but you can see his left foot is on the forefront of the bag. The earliest part of the bag, closest to home plate. So close plays often go opposite way because guys step on top of the base or on the back of the base, but Cruz, a coach's son, technique from home plate to first base. I think this play is going to be overturned.
Got the size 8.5s there just in time. It's where you love the double bag you were talking about too. That was adopted for the first time last year. High school is going to put it in next year across the United States, and
already at the college level as well.
And it makes it easy, A, to make those calls, and B, no reason why not to have it for safety.
Yeah. Avoid collisions at first base. There are going to be times where the errant throw is going to bring a first baseman off, and then you may have collisions there. But I think right here you can see the ball not in the glove. And remember, the glove does not have to squeeze around the ball to be considered inside the glove. Just has to be in the confines of the glove. But I think this play is going to be overturned and be reaching on error. Cruz Chrome at first base.
For the speedy Cruz Chrome out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
I have not been wrong
ever
this week so far. They call me Nostradamus.
That's it.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't. Who is they? Oh, Nostradamus delivers. He's safe.
My alter ego.
All right, there you go. The people of South Dakota applaud your effort, Dana. And the leadoff man, after some deliberation, is on. Great job by the volunteer umpiring crew, Phil Levike, Larry Babcock, Eric Brown, and Jeremy Oakley. And now back to it. Knox Hotchkiss takes outside from Anthony Johnson Jr. Great speed at the top of this lineup. Knox loves to fish. Takes that one low. That gets through. And Cruz Chrome didn't need to run as fast as he did the first time to get an extra base.
Cooper Tiston is behind the plate, and he's a lefty catcher, so you don't see that very often outside, especially outside of Little League baseball play. Trying to frame the pitch, allows it to get away from him, and Cruz is able to get to second base.
It's a special thing to have a kid who can be a lefty shortstop, a lefty catcher, then of course a lefty pitcher. Frame that nicely, 3-1.
It just tells you about the versatility and athleticism. Usually you'll have your pitcher, catcher, shortstop, and center fielder be your best athletes.
Ball 4, Knox Hotchkiss on. First to reach for Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We saw it yesterday. They went down 4-0 about 20 minutes into their first game of the regional, and they didn't care at all. They scored 9 runs, most of them in the final 2 innings, and beat Nebraska 9-5.
They did not score their first run until the 3rd inning. That just opened up the door, as you mentioned, score those 9 runs.
Jack Mathieson, 12-year-old. Back foot swing and a miss. Ball got away. The runners went off the base, then back. Hotchkiss ran to second. Chrome wasn't ready. And ultimately, a really good job by both of them to stay put. 0-2. Best hitter in the box. And caught and miss. Big strikeout. Anthony Johnson Jr. just struck out a kid who hit .647 in the state tournament.
This is just the toughness on display. First batter reaches on error, you walk the next one, and then the breaking ball there, getting ahead in the count, opens up the door for him to utilize that off speed.
1-0 count on Jordy James Scott. 2-run double yesterday. Swing that got a piece of Tisson. Oh. Lefty catcher, righty catcher. That doesn't feel good.
Nope. Speaking of great displays of play yesterday, Scott, starting pitcher, getting the job done, got in some trouble early, but really worked himself out of it, helped the team offensively, had a key double in the 5th inning.
Is probably the best example of the whole team's resilience, right? He gives up those runs, settles back in, won him the game. Left that outside. Base is juiced. 1 out into the 1st inning for Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Trying to become the 5th United States team to three-peat to Williamsport, and just the 2nd in the last 75 years. Most of the teams who have gone to Williamsport 3 years in a row did it in the 1940s. They won it in 24. They won it in 25. They are trying to win today and find themselves 2 wins away from Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the 3rd straight year. Mark Irwin, Iowa manager. Quick conversation with Anthony Johnson Jr. and Dana. I imagine this is a moment like, hey, we're good here.
Yeah, just relax. It's early in the game. A lot of baseball to be played. When we got a chance to speak with the head coach Irwin, said these kids are just starting to gel. They're just kind of coming together. They had the success yesterday. That was a whole different day as a breaking ball hits the outside part of the plate for Anthony Johnson Jr.
Against Keegan Roth, there's a lot of power in this bat for their left fielder. I can't remember the last pitch that wasn't near the outside corner or away from the outside corner?
Well, each pitcher, Cruz Chrome and now Johnson Jr., being very careful on how they approach and attack the opponent's bats. Trying to work away. A lot more difficult to deal with outside pitching when you're at the younger age.
Back out there, got the swing and a miss. He's throwing fastballs to the outside corner, and he ducked a breaking ball in there. What do you throw? 2-2.
You can get an elevated fastball here.
Got a swing and a miss with breaking ball. Had raw thinking fastball and gets a huge second out.
Again, the toughness, resilience shown by Anthony Johnson Jr. I thought he'd come up with a fastball, but leans heavily on that breaking ball to get the second out. Allows Tisson behind the plate to exhale. Now, ground ball, fly ball away from getting out of his jam.
Noah Kokenge. He's been a star at shortstop last 2 days. And here he is after an RBI double yesterday in a 2-0 count with the tying run on third and the go-ahead run on second.
Not sure.
Dreaming of being an NFL player like you.
Not sure I've been more impressed with anybody so far.
Got away. Hit the umpire. Kokenge will get out of the way and watch the tying run score. Cruz Chrome took an adventure around the bases to make it 1-1.
This is tough for Tisson behind the plate. As we mentioned, the lefty catcher. This is down and into the right-handed batter. He just can't get the glove over there. It glances off the shin guard of the umpire. Easy run scored for Cruz Chrome to tie the game.
Swing count. Didn't get the pitch to do it. A walk. Third walk of the inning for Sioux Falls Little League. And the bases are loaded again against Anthony Johnson Jr. Dawson Gasson. Catcher singled and walked yesterday. So yesterday they had Gasson in the top 4 of their lineup. Today they move him down into the 7 spot, presumably so he could step up in a moment like this. One of their best hitters hitting 7th with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the first inning. One and two.
I think there's always a method to the madness, and coaches knowing their players. In speaking with head coach Ryan Chrome, he said this is a balanced and dangerous lineup, so you kind of plug and play as he takes third strike there. Outstanding pitch execution by Anthony Johnson Jr.
Strikes out Gasson. 1-1 after 1. Long and winding. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, population 220,000. Set on the eastern portion of the state along the Cascades of the Big Sioux River. Incorporated 1879 as the railroads moved west to the Dakotas. And Sioux Falls has been to the Little League World Series, Dated Hughes. Each of the last 2 years, they're trying to win this regional for a third straight year. Be the second team in 75 years to do that.
I love to hear those stories. Love to hear from the coaches and how they kind of connect with previous coaches and players, allow them back in to kind of connect with the players as well, just to kind of get the recipe for success, and it's worked well for Sioux Falls.
Cruz Chrome on the mound for him. He bounced it in to Paxton Smith. The thing about Little League World Series pass is that, like, every year, and we showed it off the top of the show today, a star is born in some way. It goes back to Todd Frazier and Monet Davis. Sioux Falls has had these stars. Marcus Phillips, who got drafted by the Red Sox. Jack Riddell, who was just drafted by out of Notre Dame by the Houston Astros in this year's draft. Maxon Snoozy, which is a name that no one needs an introduction to if you watched the World Series last year. As that's ball four, leadoff man on. The 11-year-old Paxton Smith on for Davenport, Northwest Little League. But you just said it, these players come back and they speak to the teams about their experiences, and there's this shared knowledge that basically runs in the river at Sioux Falls Little League.
And that's where you give credit to the adults that have donated their time and money, because if it wasn't for
6'4" and nearly 3. How about the bare hand grab by Knox Hodgkiss at second to get the lead runner?
Had a chance to turn 2 there. You see athleticism, reaction time. 6'4", has a chance. Is thrown just a bit off. Thought maybe there would have been a chance for interference or obstruction because the runner did not slide.
Bunsen play, tough play, but not for the third baseman, Jack Mathieson. He took charge. He gets the runner at first base, and they're 2 down in the second.
Getting the job done. Jackson Rasso drops a perfectly placed bunt down, moves a runner into scoring position at second base.
Go ahead run out there. Jackson retired now, the older brother. Liam Rasso takes ball 1. Seen Cruz Chrome make an adjustment. He bounced a couple in. Now all of a sudden right back in the zone.
Leaning on your defense. Pound the zone, let your defense play. I think oftentimes, and it may not be the case for Cruz this year, but oftentimes as a pitcher, you feel like the weight is on your shoulders to do everything when you have a good defense behind you. And what we've seen on display for both of these teams is pound the zone.
Got away. That skipped off a shin guard. Another 60 feet. Xavier Lutke down to third. Boy, we're in the top of the second inning. It has been an odyssey of a first inning plus. Third straight half inning with a man on third base. Runs came in the first inning on both sides. The first inning combined 21 minutes long, 5 walks, 2 runs, 1 hit, 5 left on base, and between the two pitchers, 55 pitches.
Yep.
Payoff outside. There's another walk. There's more pitches, and they're on the corners with 2 down.
We'll likely see here is Rasso at first base, swipes second base, maybe try to get himself in a pickle to score that run at third base.
Let's see. Pitch low away. They will send the runner. There's no throw, no even thought of it. That's an easy base for Liam Rasso. You're right on it.
Oftentimes you'll see that was a straight steal. Grasso didn't even look back to see if there was going to be a throw from the catcher. We saw in game 1 today the runner get chopped down in that same predicament.
Second and third for the 11-hitter of the 12-person lineup for Davenport, Iowa. Tate Devaney, who had an RBI single yesterday. Big cut and miss. He doesn't get cheated. Three and one.
See Tate Devaney choking up on the bat to try to get it quicker through the zone. Being a smaller kid, you're facing some more high-powered arms as he takes the second strike. 3-2 count here.
3-2. That's inside. Bases reloaded. Five walks, and that will draw Ryan Chrome out of the dugout to talk to his son Cruz. You think you want to hear from Dad right now?
It's not that bad. I coached my son for many years in baseball. There were times where I had to go to the assistant coach. Hey, can you go tell Torrin something? You got to say the same thing. It just sounds different from somebody else. So I'm sure Ryan Chrome has had to do that from time to time.
They talked about it just like an extraordinary relationship, and an extraordinary thing to spend this time together as he starts Lysanias Broyles the third with strike one. They talk after practice, things to work on. Dad went out there. They talked for, I don't know, what, 20, 30 seconds.
Yep.
And his kid Cruz gets ahead 0-2. Bases loaded, 2 down in the second inning. And 0-2 from Cruz, Chrome to Broyles.
And I'm sure the message was just relax. You got 2 outs. Get yourself a ground ball, fly ball. You're at the bottom of the lineup. Don't try to be too fine.
1-2. Check swing that was tipped and held on to end the inning. The message, listen to Dad.
Dad is always correct, and Cruz is on point. The breaking ball.
In the state of South Dakota, it's pronounced rut beer.
Root.
Rut
beer.
Not root beer. It's like, it says R-O-O-T. It's like, I don't know.
And it's a pop.
Yeah.
It's a pop in South Dakota.
And they have a pop before every single game that they have. They were playing in a state tournament that was beset by lightning and rain and all these delays, sitting there for hours, waiting for games to start, trying to keep the kids, you know, locked in. And so someone pulled a rut beer out of absolutely nowhere, brought it out, and the kids started, you know, everybody having a sip to give them a little buzz. And, well, obviously, you do that, you win, you do it again and again and again. They haven't stopped winning.
Yep. Do you think the parents had root beer? Maybe the parents are adopting it too.
Rut beer. That was new to me. Ground ball right up the middle. Nice play at second base by Cannon Kane to retire Owen Teal. So they went. They got a six-pack when they got here to Indiana, and well, a six-pack could last them all the way to the Little League World Series if you go by the number of wins that they need. But I think they sell rut beer between here and Williamsport. Anthony Johnson Jr., the Davenport, Iowa pitcher, on for his third or second inning of work. Faces Gavin Hauser. Last year, Sioux Falls Little League went all the way to the Little League World Series. They didn't have rut beer to help them. It was okay. None of the players from last year's team are on this team, the way the ages work, especially in a Little League where there's a ton of participation like Sioux Falls. The one kid who went and watched them in Williamsport was this kid, Gavin Hauser. As he squares and takes a strike, but he's been telling every kid on this team what it's like to go to Williamsport.
And you love to have that dynamic as part of your roster. Someone that can speak to the experience, and what a great experience it is here in Whitestown.
The only kid to get on a cardboard box and go down the hill at Lombardy. Gavin Hauser 2 years ago, and he's on to lead it off. And this has been the deal for the Iowa pitcher, Anthony Johnson Jr. He's just trying to find ways to throw strikes. Cooper Tisson, who had no problem throwing strikes yesterday on the mound, talking with him. 22 balls to 16 strikes. He didn't allow a hit in that first inning, but gave up a run. As Kyler Seafelt takes outside.
If anybody can give him words of wisdom, it's Cooper from behind the plate. Outstanding performance by what did he end with? 11 strikeouts in game one yesterday.
One of the best pitching performances you'll see at any level. He recorded 12 outs. That's all they needed because they had a run rule win. He struck out the first 11 outs that he recorded. He was only interrupted by a walk and a hit by pitch. And with 2 outs in the last inning, threatening a perfect game in the 4th inning, an infield single ended his bid at a no-hitter. Another walk.
This is where it can get a little tough to digest, giving life to Sioux Falls, but at the bottom of the lineup, Kellen Arts, 12th batter.
This is one of the best eyes on the Sioux Falls Little League team. He walked yesterday, and he's just watching them go by right now.
Yep. Definitely going to employ taking a strike, at least force Anthony Johnson to throw 2 consecutive strikes, and there's one right there. Now get ready, and if you have a mindset and approach in the batter's box, you're looking for 1 pitch right here. Something you can drive.
Got an illegal pitch on Anthony Johnson Jr. He started his windup before Arts had stepped back into the box. Comes back, got the job done. You can see he wants to work fast.
Yeah. Once you get in a rhythm, once you have some success, 2 consecutive strikes after multiple walks, get back on the bump and go.
Right back in the box, right back up on that bump. Going fast in the 2-strike pitch. and got strike 3 at the knees. That brought a second, and almost in time. Cooper Tisson wants him to look at it, but a huge strikeout, 2 down.
Excellent job, execution by Anthony Johnson Jr. And then the snap throw. We know the strong arm right there almost caught him sleeping at second base. Pretty darn close.
Top of the lineup, Cruz Chrome. Strike 1. I mean, he went from 8 out of 9 pitches balls to right back in the zone on back-to-back pitches. 0-2.
It's the nature of the beast on the mound. You start to have success, and success breeds success. It's a breaking ball. Thought it was going to be a walk-off. Might have fooled the umpire there. That's a great pitch. 0-2.
101st pitch of the game right here. He's grounded up the middle. Tough play. A charge and a quick throw. Gets by. Runner around third. It's the lead for Sioux Falls. Hauser scores. It's 2-1.
Good hustle out of the batter's box there by Cruz Chrome, and forces the errant throw. Cannon Kane at second base gets it past Liam Rasso. As you get another run scored, 2 runs scored in this inning.
It's the second time that we've seen Cruz Chrome's speed play a huge part of a play. And they're going to pinch run for Cruz Chrome, which you can do with 2 outs for the pitcher. So Kellen Arts will step out there. Sioux Falls fans gives him a big round of applause.
Kellen Arts, courtesy ride, Kellen Arts at second base.
Count 1-1 on Knox Hotchkiss. Trying to keep this right where it is. Check swing, called strike anyway, and Johnson does exactly that. Gets the strikeout. South Dakota takes its first lead of the day. Whole lot of Chrome at this regional. Cruz Chrome on the mound on the left, who just drove in the go-ahead run for Sioux Falls. And mom Gina on the right, of course. Dad is manager on the team. Gina was an outstanding basketball player at the University of South Dakota. There's the proof in the Hall of Fame there. We asked everybody who the best athlete on the in the Chrome household was, and everyone went, it's Mom. It's definitely Gina. Maybe she's finding out that she's famous right now. They play some apparently unbelievable pickup basketball games in the driveway.
Imagine it gets a little feisty out there.
Yeah.
2 lefties versus 3 righties.
I'm gonna guess that Gina gets some dubs there.
Yeah.
I'm no expert. The 3 brothers, Cash, Knox, and Cruz, all of them wear the number 13. Everybody rooting this kid on. For Cruz Chrome, who, by the way, in this game has delivered 3 of the biggest parts of it. A single back in the first inning that helped set up the run. The swing that gave them the lead in the second. And of course, he's on the mound here to start the third.
And back facing the top of the lineup for Iowa. So Tisson drive a ball to deep left field in his first at bat.
3-0 count. He'll still swing. Didn't get anything to hit. Bat flips a walk. Leadoff man on for Davenport Northwest Little League of Iowa to start the top of the third inning.
Number 24, Anthony Johnson Jr.
This is the danger zone. Tisson on, Johnson in the box, Kane on deck. Those 3 kids said it yesterday, combined 14 home runs between districts and state, and then they added 15 yesterday on this.
Anthony Johnson Jr., we showed this in the open. Elevated fastball, gets just enough of it to poke it over left center field. Had a drive to left field as well. Single later in the game.
Takes outside.
That's where you're seeing how Cruz and Sioux Falls is being very careful about how they pitch and approach Anthony Johnson.
6 out of 7 pitches in the inning have been balls. 7 out of 8. (3-1) to the kid who homered yesterday. Not close. Back-to-back walks for Davenport, Iowa. They have the tying run in scoring position to start the third. And now it's Cannon Kane.
I think Iowa's going to take a page out of the book of Sioux Falls and be very selective. You can be aggressive, but be selective. Look for one pitch.
Curveball finds the zone. He's throwing some curves to get back in the zone.
Yeah, we've seen that from both pitchers. Anthony Johnson Jr. as well.
Still no hits. As that pitch goes down and away on the South Dakota offensive side. They have 2 runs, just 1 hit. On this side for Iowa, they have 1 run and 2 base runners. 3-1 slant, deep left center field to the gap and off the wall. This game is tied. It might be a lead. Tisson scores. Johnson to third. Game tying RBI double Cannon Kane.
That's exactly what I was talking about, being selective but still staying aggressive. And here's a fastball down and in, and watch how he's able to get that bat through the zone. Drives, as you mentioned, right off the left center field fence. Tisson's able to score easily. Anthony Johnson Jr. to third base. Cannon Kane had the error that opened up the door for that second run for Sioux Falls. Comes through right there with an RBI double.
Caleb Irwin, right side in the hole. A backhand stop, a race to the bag that he wins as Johnson scores. Birthday hit, birthday RBI, and it's 3-2 thanks to Caleb Irwin.
Put the ball in play and good things can happen. Caleb Irwin just enough, pokes it past the pitcher. First baseman opts to field that, not allow the second baseman, Knox Hotchkiss, to field it.
Send the runner from first. The throw does go to second. A slide attack. They got him as Kane scores.
And there's another example of the runner at second base going straight steal. Drawing the throw from the catcher. Dawson Gasson with a strike thrown on second base, and looks like they're going to review this. And you see double clutch and still gets enough on it. That's a great job by Hotchkiss holding on to that ball.
I guess it wasn't a pump for an out. It was a point to maybe a potential obstruction.
Well, I think they're also going to talk about that because the base was disengaged. So
initial contact between Irwin and the shortstop, too, Kokenge.
Yeah, that's Hotchkiss that was in the baseline. So as you mentioned, maybe obstruction there, interference.
And explaining all this to Ryan Chrome, who doesn't look ecstatic about what they've said. There's a lot there, and then of course the question is, if you're calling obstruction there, the runner on third, depending on when he broke, you could put him back there. Obviously Ryan Chrome okay with the explanation.
Yeah. I think his argument is likely that's where the ball was thrown. The second baseman was making a play on the throw from the catcher, which just happens to be up the line. As you get a bunt attempt that's fouled back for the first strike. I get both arguments. Doesn't win it. Third run of this inning scored for Iowa.
Chantos pulled back. There's a lot in there, but obviously they deem the runner safe at second. The run scores. We got a 4-2 game. And again, you never saw a safe call from the second base umpire, which makes you think that he called obstruction.
And that's one of those circumstances, Cooper, where if I'm a coach, I'm asking the ump, what else could my guy have done? What could he have done differently? The ball was thrown up the second base line. He had to make the adjustment. He got into the base path. There was a collision. He held on to the ball. The ball got there before the runner. What else could he have done?
Swing and a miss for the first out. And of course, the answer is nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing the shortstop could have done. But because they make contact before he gets to the bag and before the ball arrived, it is there. One out, man on second. Crew Neff now. And this is another one of these games. You just have a feeling like it's 4-2 in the third inning. This is not going to stay 4-2.
No. Little tank in the batter's box. Crew Neff might change it himself.
Little tank. You think nicknames have gotten better since you played? Little Tank?
I know. Much more creative.
What'd they call you? Yeah, you think about that one. Outside 3-1.
Well, every hero has a theme song, Cooper. There's a song out there called Call Me D-Nice. They called me D-Nice. There you go.
I like that.
Glad you brought that up.
That's
National
I'll
TV.
tell you what, D-Nice is, I mean, that's as good, if not better, than Little Tank.
No, Little Tank. I like Little Tank better.
Little Tank loved. I think D-Nice liked it. Runner came in there. Irwin just broke around third as they sent the runner to second, and they score another run.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Sioux Falls to kind of take a deep breath. The ball got away, ball 4, gets away from the catcher, Dawson Gaston. And as everybody was focused on the runner at second base, they tag him out. The heads-up run scored from third base, the 4th run of this inning. So ran into an intentional out at second base to score another run. Not sure that I buy into that theory. I think maybe at least make the defense get you in a pickle and see if you can get out of it. But scoring runs is the optimum mindset here for Iowa.
No, these are the little things that matter in these games. You get one here, one there, they win you games. Paxton Smith walked back in the second inning. He walks again. Folks, you can find Little League on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the official handles at Little League. And don't forget to use hashtag LLWS. Mound meeting for South Dakota at 83 pitches. They're going to take the baseball from Cruz Chrome. 9 walks for Davenport, Iowa. They've scored 4 in the 3rd inning as we step aside.
Defensive changes for South Dakota.
Cruz Chrome out, and Sioux Falls to their bullpen after 2 2/3 innings. 83 pitches, up towards 3 innings of work. 4 runs in the inning for Davenport Northwest Little League out of the state of Iowa. As Noah Kokenge, hard thrower on this mound, misses inside to Xavier Lutke.
Now batting Xavier Lutke.
Kokenge, we spoke so highly about his defensive exploits at shortstop. Seeing that strong arm on display, throwing across the diamond, gonna come in and try to quiet things down offensively for Iowa.
Working fast. Missed outside with the slider. It's amazing, like how many major league pitchers were once shortstops.
Yes.
On the ground, up the middle, bouncing into center field. Turn at second. Smith goes back to the bag. Iowa just keeps hitting.
Yeah, drive the ball right back where it came from. Fastball up and in, gets his hands through it. Big part of the bat on the ball. Play can't be made at shortstop.
First and second. And a called strike 1 on Jackson Rasso. Davenport, Iowa. 3rd time as a state champion out of the Quad Cities area. That is a part of the country that has really produced consistent Little League excellence. So North Scott Little League out of Eldridge, Iowa, get here last year. They've been a serious power in that area. in Quad Cities. Sioux stays alive, and this team ran that gauntlet, won the state of Iowa, showed up here yesterday. They got a perfect day, basically, between Cooper Tisson and the 13 runs that they scored. And after trailing 2-1 coming into the inning, they lead on a 4 spot in the 3rd.
Well, we've seen the ability of Sioux Falls to be able to put together a large amount of runs in 1 inning, so do not count them out at all.
That's why a pitch like this is so big, right? Can you keep this at a 3-run game? Because you feel like if you're Sioux Falls, the way that you scored yesterday and have scored this year, you can come back. As Rasso gives a late Derek Jeter timeout.
You have the runners on the move, on the pitch here.
On a 3-2. Off they go, and back they'll go. We've seen some big battles from this kid, 11-year-old Jackson. On an 8th pitch, he fists it out, right side, foul again. Especially in Little League, this matters so much to get as many pitches out of the pitcher as possible. They took 83 off the starter Chrome. 13th is on the corner for called strike 3. Rasso down looking to end the inning. 4 runs led by this Dayton from Cannon Kane.
Cannon Kane came through in the clutch. The drive off the left center field wall.
Welcome to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and a slice of sports paradise. Hammered, God! Up and out of Williamsport.
Are you kidding me? Lay out like a superhero.
Great baseball ahead. Here we go.
"11 days." Who's counting? We are. 11 days from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, the last 10 champions of the Little League Baseball World Series. Chinese Taipei, a 7-0 win of the championship last year over Vegas. Lake Mary, Florida, the last United States champion. We had the Taylor, Michigan crew in 21 out of this region, or at least this portion of the country in the Great Lakes. There's not been a Midwest champion since the turn of the century. These are 2 of the teams dreaming of being that champion. South Dakota, Sioux Falls Little League, there the last 2 years. Davenport, Iowa, hasn't been there since '05. Tough play at third. Bang, bang, and it's done by the third baseman, Logan Chantos. He took a hit away from Jack Mathieson.
Outstanding job by Chantos attacking this ball, playing even with the bag. Slow roller. It's a good, strong throw to first base. As you mentioned, bang, bang for the first out.
We said it on one side. There's been 9 walks for the Iowa hitters. That slowly hit left side at the shortstop. Another good play by Xavier Lutke over there. 2 down. There have been some walks on this side. 5 of them over the first 2 innings. But Anthony Johnson Jr. seemed to find the zone at the end of the last inning, and he comes out pumping strikes to start this third.
Well, now he's got a comfort of having a 3-run lead. Still has not given up a hit. Seems much more relaxed now. Delivery, you can tell he's just, although he's on the pitching mound, he's just throwing like he's playing first base, playing catch with his buddy. Sometimes you just have to break down the game to the simplest form, and he's doing it right now.
Went curveball on Keegan Roth. Well, golfer too. What's he got? Pitching wedge?
Yep, looks like it.
Very nice. Cut and miss. There's no club that worked there. 8-pitch inning for Anthony Johnson Jr.
Anthony Johnson Jr. getting it done. 3 up, 3 down with the K to end it. Want to see some girls with game? Tune into an exciting summer of softball and visit littleleaguesoftball.org for great content, information about starting a softball league, and more.
3 o'clock Eastern.
How about the ladies having some swag there? The young ladies.
I'm working it. Like, where do we get glasses like that?
We need them.
I've never seen you in a feather boa. We can make that happen.
We can make it happen for tomorrow, yes.
Again, 3 p.m. on ESPN. Wow, foul territory. It somehow stayed in play, and Kellen Arts venturing into the Oakland Coliseum makes a play.
Nice concentration by Arts out in right field. Not accustomed to the dimensions here, but fearless, running towards the tarp and secures the first out.
Tires Liam Rasso, and out bunt attempt by Devaney. It does feel like we're in the 4th inning of a 6-inning game here. This has got to stay right here for Sioux Falls, South Dakota, if they want a chance to come back in the game.
Well, the key is throwing strikes, and that's what we're seeing from Noah on the mound.
Bunt, third base side, play made. Jack Mathieson. One thing Sioux Falls did yesterday in their comeback effort, they caught the baseball.
Yes. And I guarantee Iowa recognizes that there's still a lot more fight left in Sioux Falls. They saw it on display yesterday.
Lysanias Broyles, the third, takes outside. This is in a lot of ways like the script of yesterday for South Dakota. They don't want to be down 5-2. They're down 4-0 first. They came back, tied the game, then trailed again, and then obliterated the baseball in the last few innings to win the game. Not only like win it against Nebraska, they won 9-5. So they're sitting there looking at the 5 spot for Iowa and saying, like, we can do this. Starts with Kokenge on the mound. He got a strike. Broyles was hoping it wasn't. And it's 3-1. Kokenge in relief of Cruz Chrome. And nabs the outside corner.
Ken showing that ability to throw strikes. So we've seen him at defensively at shortstop. Going to try to battle back here. And he does.
Yes, he does. First 1-2-3 inning for Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Finished with this strikeout.
Noah Kokenge with the firm two-seam fastball blown by Broyles. Try to get the offense.
Three innings so far. We have not played a full inning in which someone hasn't scored. 1-1 after 1, 2-1 after 2, and where we stand right now as we go bottom 4, 5-2 in a topsy-turvy, twist and turn kind of game between Iowa and South Dakota. Iowa's gone to the bullpen. Anthony Johnson Jr. has been really good the last 2 innings out. Cannon Kane on, and he delivers a called strike 1 to the shortstop turned pitcher now, Noah Kokenge, for Sioux Falls Little League, state champions of South Dakota.
Cannon Kane had a game save versus Southeast Davenport to get this team here. Again, the theme throughout this region is confidence in the bullpen, and Iowa has that in Kane.
Check swing. Did that touch the ball in the bat? No. Tisson pointed down. They said he did not go. Well, you see it. Fast pace. Cannon Kane winded go. Again, went up top. Didn't get that swing. So you're going up twice. Where now?
They got to work down and away. Haven't really seen much of a breaking ball from him here.
Tried it. Ducked it in. Called strike 3. Welcome to the ball game. Cannon Kane.
Cannon Kane with his first strikeout This is more of a slider action there. Just holds up right there, and Noah Kokenge gets buckled.
46-foot cement mixer. And strike one on Dawson Gasson. We showed you that line score. The kind of craziness of this game. Both teams have led. Both teams have trailed. Obviously. Called strike on Dawson Gasson. Really slicing off that top part of the zone. Sioux Falls trailed yesterday, came back and won. And really the reason why is this part of the lineup. They got a double from Kokenge, the 6-hitter. Gasson was on twice. Teal had 3 RBIs. Sioux Falls has made their money in the state tournament, in regionals pass, by putting balls in play. There's the first hit from Dawson Gasson. We had a note, and again, for all of what we just described of the craziest, the line score, the changes, that's the first hit for South Dakota. They have 2 runs.
2 runs, no hits, capitalizing on miscues early. That's not a miscue there, as the drive up the middle for Gasson gets it going for Sioux Falls.
Now it's Owen Teal. 6th grader at Sioux Falls Christian School. 2 hits, 3 RBIs yesterday. We were pretty amazed in the last few innings when they started to find it offensively for Sioux Falls. These kids are not shy.
We know that there's not any quit in Sioux Falls. You just need something positive to happen offensively. It might have been that opening hit right there.
They won the Midwest region last year. They went to the Little League World Series. 2-2 here, man on first. Last year's regional happened to be the same weekend that a lot of these kids were playing in a tournament that was within driving distance of this. So Cruz Chrome, Knox Hotchkiss, Gavin Hauser, a few of those kids drove here and watched this team play. Tapper off the plate, that's a fair ball. Really tough play, not for Cooper Tisson. Left-hand catcher, that's a pro right there.
Yes. The one aspect defensively where being a lefty catcher works well for you, as Tisson is able to come up with the swinging bunt here. Watch how he's able to get to it and quickly, instead of having to flip his hips as a right-handed catcher, just flip it down to first base nice and easily for the 2nd out.
Ball 1 on Gavin Hauser. Those are all the reasons why, like, you can't have left-hand catchers. You know, makes the throw down to third base a little bit harder on guys trying to steal third. I've always thought that that's like a really specific reason not to have them.
Same with shortstop. Like, you have a guy that can flip his hips, he's athletic enough, throw the ball with some velocity over to first base. Does it really take away from being able to play that position? I don't think so.
Oh, we've seen it, especially at this level.
I've always been envious of lefties anyway. They have the prettiest swings, the Ken Griffey Jr.'s, the Barry Bonds, the Ted Williams, prettiest jump shots.
That's ball 4. Gavin Hauser on. Little League Baseball Regionals continue with Little League Around the Bases, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Whip around coverage every region. Matt Schick, Mike Rooney on Saturday, today, and Sunday, 1 to 9 Eastern, streaming live on ESPN+. We thank those of you who are joining us on that whip around coverage around the bases. Hope you're enjoying Little League Baseball around this country as much as we are.
Did you enjoy your discount at Dick's Sporting Goods yet?
I have not gotten that yet.
See?
That was big. Did you
I didn't go yet. That's what I'm gonna venture to this afternoon.
Yeah, they're handing them out like candy around here at the Central region. 20% off. Counts 2-1 on Kyler Seafeld. That wasn't like some special perk. Anybody could come and get it.
I thought it was because
I got bad news
cool.
for you. In the center and caught in center. Caleb Irwin. Yeah, birthday catch too to end the inning. Still a 5-2 ball game. You want to talk about a major leaguer that plays the game at the highest level like he's a little leaguer? This kid, Kevin McGonigal, a rookie for the Detroit Tigers out of Drexel Hill Little League in Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania. These legendary backyard workouts with his dad where they would hit for hour after hour. And, you know, again, we get the questionnaires of all these guys. And, like, you know, like last year, Pete Crow Armstrong was like some of the kids' favorite players. And this year, he's everyone's favorite player. I have a feeling Kevin McGonigal's in that. This is slam. Deep right field. Cooper Tisson goes yard. Watching a star at this regional.
Yes, he is. Pitching yesterday, catching today. He catches that one, puts a charge into it, knows it with the bat flip. There you can see good balance in the batter's box, a knee kick and drive to drive it over the fence. Cooper Tisson, 2 for 2 yesterday, 1 for 2 today, 4 runs scored so far in 2 games.
We're going to talk about that bat flip. That was electric.
Yes.
His favorite player is Pete Crow Armstrong of the Chicago Cubs, who is bat flipping regularly at Wrigley Field. And he delivered what I think you can only categorize as a PCA level of big dreams.
And a PCA bat flip, as you mentioned, but also the presence in the batter's box is very similar approach.
It's true.
Are you a Pete Crow Armstrong for MVP guy?
You know, at this point, is that's tagged down the line and foul. I'm like, I'm not there yet, but every day that goes by, I got an Ohtani. I just think the fact that Ohtani has thrown pitches this year, I know he's not pitching right now, is maybe the decider. But you're right when you talk about value and the way the PCA plays defense on top of what he's doing offensively. I think it's as close as it might ever be in a year that Shohei Ohtani pitches.
Okay, I can go along with that.
There's a walk for Anthony Johnson Jr. I have a feeling Cooper Tisson is on the PCA train. I might be on a Cooper Tisson for MVP train right now. 11 strikeouts of 12 outs he got yesterday, a one-hitter. A home run today after he went 2 for 2 yesterday. And Davenport Northwest Little League out of the state of Iowa, trying to finish this off and find themselves 2 wins away from Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Cannon Kane has an opportunity to extend this lead, help his cause here. Seen a big drive from him in his last at bat, a double off the left center field fence. Good power displayed throughout this lineup, especially the top 5 batters in this Iowa lineup.
I mean, they told us coming in that the top of this lineup was going to be crazy, right? The 14 home runs between the district and state tournaments. These kids were getting intentionally walked in a Little League game. As Kane puts it in play, bouncing ball, nice play to second one. That's all they'll get. Hotchkiss took the high hop and gets the lead runner for a big first out in this 5th inning.
Number 40, Kenny Maryland.
So you taking PCA or you taking Otani? Take a stand.
I'm going PCA.
Right.
Going against the grain.
I feel like you're just trying to make the Midwest happy right now. It's okay. Ryan Chrome out. That was the 35th pitch against the threshold for Noah Kokenge. And so trying to keep him available. After 1 day of calendar rest, they will go to the pen. So we'll step aside at a 4-run game in the 5th. Fifth inning of a 6-inning game. 6-2 lead for Davenport Northwest Little League, state champions of Iowa, against Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Keegan Roth, the 3rd pitcher for Sioux Falls. He threw yesterday, but didn't throw enough not to come back today as he misses outside to the birthday boy, Caleb Irwin. Think he's having a good 12th birthday?
Absolutely.
That's off his front foot. That's foul. He's got what? A catch in center. He's got a walk back in that 1st inning that helped them score that run that gave them the lead. And then an RBI infield single that gave them the lead again in the 3rd inning. They had to win yesterday for him to play on his birthday. And he puts it in play on the left side to second one. And they won't turn that one either. Kokenge to second. And they're 2 down. What's been the most impressive part of what Iowa's done to you offensively?
I just think we've seen the power on display, multiple extra base hits in each game. And then the bottom of the lineup just maybe not having the production today specifically, but contributing in great fashion, drawing a lot of pitches, walks. You know, that pitch count becoming a factor because you're not able to mow through the bottom of the lineup because of the fight that they have. So I've been very impressed defensively as well. It's not just about the stars stepping up, it's about everyone.
Well, defense there. Keegan Roth snared it, got it to first, and finishes off the inning. One more for Davenport Northwest from the star, Cooper Tisson.
Cooper Tisson, Pete Crow Armstrong-esque with the bat.
Game that's hard to summarize, and yet here it is. A 6-2 Iowa lead. 10 walks, 7 left for Davenport, Iowa. They still have 5 hits and 6 runs. Sioux Falls, South Dakota has had just 1 hit. They've had, it felt like a million runners on base, and the 2 runs. Both teams have led in this game. There was a no-hitter carried into the 4th inning in a game that had a combined 3 runs, including 2 of them from South Dakota. But Iowa has gone now to Cannon Kane out of the bullpen, and what he's done is throw strikes, sweep a breaking ball in, and taking control of this ball game on a strikeout.
And what he's effectively doing is pounding the zone. Good control with his fastball and breaking ball and getting ahead of the batters. The epitome of pitching with a lead right now. Cannon Kane is getting it done.
He just got the 11 hitter in a 12-person continuous lineup on a strikeout. It was Kellen Arts, and now the top of the lineup. 5 offensive outs left for Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Cruz Chrome, hard hit. What a play at first base by Johnson.
Anthony Johnson Jr. One hopper by Cruz Chrome makes it look easy at first base. That's a tough play. Got a smile out of him right there.
Deserved it. Big man, soft hands. Strike 1 on Knox Hodgkiss. Cooper Tisson deserves all of the flowers that he's gotten. He struck out 11 dudes and has a home run in the last 2 days. That got a piece of Hodgkiss. Whew. Man, you got a hard thrower on the mound. Appreciate it. He tossed the bat aside and just ran his way up the line.
Good toughness displayed by Hodgkiss. He's moved around the infield from second to shortstop, made some defensive plays. Walked in the 1st inning. 2nd time on base.
that hit by pitch, this tells the whole story of the game. That is the 9th South Dakota hitter to reach without a hit. They have 10 base runners. And it's a lot like yesterday, where they've had a ton of traffic. They've been very close to opening up a big inning, but every time Iowa's just made a pitch.
Those last 2 swings by Jack there are pitches that almost hit him. You go right inside again.
Went upstairs, got a pop up left side to end the inning. Logan Chantos the catch. 3 outs left to get for Iowa. A 6-2 ball game. Here's where we are right now. This is the winner's bracket side of the double elimination tournament. South Dakota and Iowa playing right now, with Missouri and Wisconsin later on for you at 4 o'clock on ESPN+. If Iowa can hold on to this 6-2 lead, they advance to Wednesday, which means, as we talked to you on Saturday, they get to sit and rest and reset all their pitch counts and find themselves 2 wins away from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. They will bat at least one more time, start the top of the 6th inning of a 6-inning game. They scored 4 times in the 3rd, 1 in the 1st and the 5th. As that breaking ball's high, 1-1 from Keegan Roth against Crew Neff in this part of the lineup that helped spark that big rally at 4 runs back in the 3rd.
Crew Neff has done a nice job with his opportunities defensively and offensively. Just had the 1 walk today. This Iowa team, this lineup, man, there's not room to take a breather at all. They just keep coming at you.
Chopper, third base side. Jack Matison keeps playing a perfect third base for South Dakota. And there's 1 down. Davenport Northwest Little League, representing Davenport, Iowa, along the Mississippi River in the heart of the Corn Belt. One of the Quad Cities, trying to do what a number of Quad Cities teams have done in recent memory, go to Williamsport. Davenport Southeast got it done a few years ago, but this particular Little League has not been there since 2005. None of these kids were born. None of these kids were really close to being born the last time they were there. Chopper, again, third base side foul. You talk to the coaches and the parents, and like there are all these little connections around. Your manager, Mark Irwin's wife's cousin, shout out Brody Grothus, was on that 05 team that played at Lomedy. And there's so many, you talk to the people that have like been on this ride and followed the whole thing from districts into state, and this is a team in Davenport, as the 2-2 is called high, 3-2, that has captured hearts at home, and for good reason.
Yeah. And even talking with Coach Irwin, he even mentioned the fundraising abilities and the businesses as we get a backwards K here on Smith for the second out. It's a nice job by Rolfe.
Yeah, people that they didn't know or didn't know were involved in Little League have come out of the woodwork. You're hearing stories about people's parents and grandparents about how they played Davenport Northwest Little League in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Xavier Lutke, the batter, nobody on, 2 down. And it is one of those things where this run is for the kids here. They're having the time of their lives, the parents and the coaches who have lived this ride. But what they're doing right now is special to a community. Hard hit, right field, base hit. Xavier Lutke, 2-hit day after a single and a walk yesterday. He's having a regional.
I always love to see how these kids are able to get the big part of the bat on the ball. That's a pitch that's up and in. He's able to pull his hands inside and still drive it out to right field. You mentioned his numbers on the region, 3 for 4.
And now he'll go down to second. Now, you said it earlier, there's no reprieve whatsoever at the bottom of this lineup. They scored 13 runs in 3 offensive innings yesterday. Today has been a slower burn, but 6 runs in now 5+ innings. And even though Sioux Falls has gotten out of jams, the number of pitches that it's taken, you can see it. Like the pitchers on the other side have been beleaguered.
I think the biggest question was, as each of these teams had to deal with that adversity early where the pitchers weren't really hitting the strike zone, a lot of free passes were happening, how were they going to rebound? The baseball is a great game. It's my favorite sport, always has been. But there are times, especially when you're seeing free pass after free pass, that it can get a little boring. And if you're an outfielder, you haven't had a ball hit to you in a while, you're standing around a lot, you can lose focus, lose some of that energy. But I give credit to each of these teams. That has not happened. They were able to produce, capitalize, not as much as Sioux Falls would have liked to, especially early on when Anthony Johnson Jr. didn't have the best stuff. But they've shown some fight in this game, but even gives you more credit and more of an affinity for Davenport and what they've been able to accomplish.
Manager Ryan Chrome out with 2 outs in the 6th inning. 144 pitches have been thrown by South Dakota pitchers in 5 2/3. 144 pitches, and it does feel like it.
Yeah.
On a hot day in Whitestown. 16 combined walks between the 2 teams. And here, 2 men on for Liam Rasso. Jackson, the little brother, gets on base ahead of him. Older brother in the box. That's headed to the backstop. 60 more feet for both runners. It's one thing like when a game has a ton of balls, that's one thing, but the fact is they've taken some close pitches. Like they've earned walks. And we've seen a few times that that's gotten opposing pitchers a little bit rattled, and that's led to the bigger innings.
I think you can attribute some of the control issues for both pitchers, or all the pitchers in this game, to respect.
Big swing to center and a better catch in center. Gavin Hauser right in front of the wall to end the inning. And keep a 0 on the board. Last ups 4, 5, and 6 next for Sioux Falls Little League of South Dakota. Davenport Northwest Little League here in Whitestown, Indiana, on a lovely morning turned afternoon. 3 outs away from being the first team in this region to go 2-0 and put themselves 2 wins away from the Little League World Series. Cannon Kane on the mound facing Jordy James Scott with a 6-2 lead. Kane in relief of Anthony Johnson Jr. Dana has come in this game. He's been awesome.
Has been awesome indeed, pounding the zone and throwing strikes. That's what's been key and been different. As you mentioned, Anthony Johnson Jr. got hot in the latter part of his stint on the mound, but early on, it was struggle city for him. Not so much for Kane.
6 outs, just 2 base runners. Nasty slider to get to 1-2 against the cleanup hitter for South Dakota. He couldn't get the swing there. 2-2. Just working fast. Get the ball, get up. Here we go. 3-2. Leadoff man for South Dakota is on base. Comeback kids yesterday. This would be a special one. Four-hitter on, and now it's Keegan Roth, who's been great on the mound the last 2 innings. He struck out twice in his first 2 at-bats. He takes a ball right down the middle. Strike 1. Oh, and 2.
Good firm fastball from Kane there. Some extra life on it at the end. Working arm side run with that fastball. There's a hard breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. Good discipline by Keegan Roth.
1-2. Swing, hammer, deep towards left field. It is over the head and towards the wall. Scott had to hold up. He runs to third. They'll They'll stop him there. It's a double for Sioux Falls. First 2 on in the 6th.
Cannon Kane leading on that fastball. It gets up in the zone, and there you see Keegan Roth puts a charge into it, a one-hopper to the fence. There's still life for Sioux Falls.
If there's one Little League in America you believe could pull this off, you're looking at it. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 2 on. Called strike 1 on Noah Kokenge. There's only one Little League in the country doing what Sioux Falls has done. Consecutive regional championships. Last 2 years in Williamsport. Yesterday, down 4-0. Came back, won the game 9-5. 3 offensive outs left. They're on 2nd and 3rd in the 6th. Got the corner, 2-2.
Noah's looking for something on the inside part of the plate, maybe elevated like we saw with Keegan Roth.
2-2, ground ball right to shortstop. It's in the left center field. 1 in. They'll stop the runner at 3rd. Throw came to the plate, so an extra base for Kokenge. 1 run in. 3-run game.
Put the ball in play. Anything can happen just through the wickets at shortstop. Hard hit ball. Got to get the glove down. Keep that ball on the infield. And as you mentioned, 1 run scored. No runners at 2nd and 3rd with no outs.
Dawson Gasson now, 1 for 2. 2 hits in the regional. He's down 0-2. Roth doubled with 2 strikes. Kokenge with that last swing with 2 strikes. 0-2. Swing and a line drive left field. Base hit again. Another run in. Never done. 2-run game. Tying runs on for Sioux Falls.
Cannon Kane is doing everything right, getting ahead of batters, but just making that last pitch with 2 strikes a little bit too appetizing. And Dawson Gasson, the backstop for Sioux Falls, gives them extra life.
Yesterday, you're sitting there and you're watching this game where nothing is happening. 0 offensively for Sioux Falls for hour after hour. And then just the light bulb turns on. Yep. It's loud sound after loud sound. They score 9 runs and win the game. It was nothing for most of this day. And here we are tying runs on base in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the winning run is batting right now. And after the mound meeting, Owen Teal takes outside. He drove in 3 yesterday. Kokenge at 3rd, Gasson at 1st. Line foul. Over the head of Ryan Chrome, who was about to leap and celebrate before it took a left turn. What do you throw here? 1-2.
I think whatever you throw, it's got to be down in the zone. We've seen some of the best swings on balls that are not necessarily strikes, but up in the zone.
1-2. Alive again. Championship DNA in Sioux Falls. As they say, this is our community. We're a baseball town. 4th straight batter to 2 strikes. Last 3 have reached. You also start thinking about Gasson at 1st base. Nobody out. You don't force the issue, but maybe at some point he runs. 2-2. How about Teal?
Love the battle in the batter's box. Bottom of the lineup production. We talked about it over and over these first couple of days.
7th pitch line to center, but it's caught at second. Neff kept it out of center field. You would have to believe Owen Teal thought it was 6-5.
A well-struck ball, defense coming through for Davenport. Just got it off the end of the bat, so not as much speed to get out to the outfield, but outstretched arm right there. Crew Neff.
Needed all 4'11". Gavin Hauser now. Inside that, got a piece of him. Yeah, you can hear it. Just nicked off of his wrist. It loads the bases. It puts the tying runs in scoring position for South Dakota. You can review hit batters. And they're thinking about it. There's the story right there. 1 hit over 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, big swings for South Dakota as now they deliberate. Yeah, and you have the 2 challenges. They haven't been used for Iowa.
So I'm sure the question here, Cooper, is whether the ball hit the bat, then the hand, or if it just went straight to the hand. And we'll see from this camera angle. Ooh, that might have hit the knob. It looks like from that angle it was off of the heel of his hand.
I mean, this is, when you talk about replay at the major league level, this is one of the least overturned calls in baseball, because it's almost impossible to try to discern what hit first or how it hit or anything.
Yeah, from this camera angle, you really can't see. But from that first base camera, looks like you can clearly see that it hits his hand first. But there is some question.
What's it sound like here? I mean, here's something. I don't feel like I heard a ring of a bat necessarily. It's just hard to imagine they would see or hear enough to overturn it. It was a 1-1 count, so the count would be 1-2 if they called it a foul ball. Again, volunteer umpire and crew of Phil Levike, Larry Babcock, Eric Brown, and Jeremy Oakley. The bases loaded deal isn't the worst news for Iowa either, because you'd have a chance to go to the plate on a ground ball to force out there. And the other part of this, too, is in an inning that's gotten really fast against Canton and Iowa. This is at least a moment to just, like, sit and take a breath.
And I want to believe, or part of me believes, that Coach Irwin is maybe challenging that in part for that reason, Cooper, to give his players an opportunity to exhale, just relax just a bit. It's not necessarily a trip to the mound where the coach is in your face and maybe you're feeling a little angst. But just relax and just recognize the game of baseball is still being played. You're playing it at a high level. And with 1 out, possibly bases loaded here, as you mentioned, an opportunity to adjust defensively.
You look at the faces of all these parents right below us. Half of them are staring daggers at the shot you see with these umpires, and the other half of them are biting nails to nubs. They've been on this ride too.
They're taking a long time to review this. There must be some question.
Of course, it's the biggest call of the game, so you want to get it right. Just insanity. A game that you felt like had one more turn to it has had one of the biggest turns. This was a 4-run game going into the bottom of the 6th inning. Walk, double, air, RBI single, a line out that would have been a 6-5 game, and now what is on the field a hit by pitch. Here's our call. Wow, they found a foul ball. Wow. I mean, there was nothing obvious from what we saw. They do have the ability to match up some angles, but clearly they find a foul ball. A massive call.
Yeah, overturning it, as you mentioned, because it's a foul ball, it's strike 2 in this circumstance. And I don't think anybody is questioning whether that actually hit Gavin Hauser. It's just a matter of if it hit the bat first and then his hand. There's got to be some frustration there from Ryan Chrome.
And this is where these words from Ryan Chrome matter, right? You know, you've got a kid who thought he was on first base as representing the winning run in the game, and now he's got to completely change his mind, come back here, and take another at bat with now runners back on first and third, and a 2-strike count on him.
I think the concern of moving the runner, you would have thought would have happened already, being the tying run.
In play, right side, off the glove, into right field. A run in, first to third throw there is high, but reeled in. Down to second for Hauser. The review let him hit again. He got it done. Looks like he's okay with it.
Yes, he is. Bottom of the lineup production again. Gavin Hauser drives it right past Anthony Johnson Jr. at first base. Really no chance to make that play. Another run plated, and now you have the winning run at second base with 1 out.
For Kyler Seafelt, the first baseman. Count 1-1. Tying run on third, winning run on second. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Seafelt left side. Nice play. Logan Chantos, the grab, checked the runner back, and delivers the second out for Davenport.
This is an outstanding play. I wondered about the defensive pre-pitch positioning. The infield is in with the tying run at third base. Just enough of a hesitation to force the runner at third to freeze. Dawson Gasson there. You don't want to walk the bottom of the lineup to get to Cruz Chrome. Very dangerous with the bat, but 2 outs here, the 12th batter up.
Kellen Arts. Inside, you said it. Cruz Chrome, their #1 hitter, standing on deck. Second and third, bottom 6. This is the bottom of the 9th of a 6-inning game. Arts right to shortstop, picked up, lucky to first. It is caught, it is done, and Iowa survives. I'm sure they're gonna check it for South Dakota. They have their challenges left, so it'll be a muted and delayed celebration. Let's find out together.
Runners at second and third. The winning run at second. Ground ball to short. Secured it. Good strong throw, but low. The question is this, if it's a double clutch at first base, and it looks like Anthony Johnson Jr. got the glove underneath. Ball never, a little bit of an ice cream cone there, but never moved. He didn't double clutch it. I think that's the third out.
Yeah, it's a very slow replay of what will confirm that Iowa is 2-0. Sioux Falls scores 3 times to make it a 1-run game. They put the tying run on third, the winning run on second. Cannon Kane gets a ground out against Seafelt, and then got what you just saw from Arts. And there are a whole lot of Little League hopes and dreams hanging in the air on those umpires, on those headsets.
How about the fight from Sioux Falls? They had 1 hit going into this last frame. Clutch hit after clutch hit. Put themselves in a great position, but we may have to credit Iowa for keeping their foot on the gas pedal and getting it done. Getting a little tighter than they would have liked. As
There we
see
go.
The umpires coming back out.
He's out. Davenport Northwest Little League. The Iowa State champions are 2 wins away from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Worth the wait.
A resilient group, showing they had the toughness to be able to withstand some adversity. The first adversity they've shown or have seen in the 2 games, and they're able to get it done.
It's all about Iowa.
Yes.
There's your bracket, 6-5 by the skin of their teeth. On to Wednesday, they get to hang out. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, reset the pitching, and then face the winner of Missouri and Wisconsin. Back with you at 4 o'clock, and then the nightcap at 7. A day of cotton candy, sunglasses, strikeouts, and joy. Big thanks to Chris Damiani leading our outstanding crew. For Dane and Hughes, I'm Cooper Boardman. The boys from Iowa get it done.